This is actually going to make me upset. Cool. Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back. Today I thought we would take a look at, I wasn't actually sure between Ghost Theory and Ghost Club Paranormal, but I thought we would take a look at Ghost Club Paranormal, because this is the channel that, final straw, the straw that broke the camel's back situation was this channel. So I thought it was about time we took a look at them. I really didn't like the whole, around the time of the LA fires and that drama and how they handled that. And around that time, I was sort of looking at, the male to female debunker ratio, and I was like, it's not all men, but it's male heavy, so maybe we could use more female voices. So I started doing this. And here we are. Let's have a look at the channel who pissed me off enough to start using my voice. So grab your drink and let's get into this. It's too hot for me to sip it like I normally do. It's not going to happen. I will burn my mouth. Right, so their most popular video, is this one. It says that I've watched it because I literally just loaded it and then realised that I had to show you this. So yes, it's from 3 years ago. Let's have a look. Intense paranormal activity at the Corriganville. I'm dyslexic. I don't know how I put those letters together. Okay, I just want to Corriganville house. USA. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Great. Oh, it's a neighbourhood. I had to take a quick break for my stepdad getting me my antibiotics. You know that ear infection that I had a couple of weeks ago? Oh, okay, bye. She was screaming at me for attention, so I picked her up for cuddles and then she's like, no, get off. Yeah, that ear infection that I had like 2-3 videos ago, I record like 2 a day on days that I feel okay, so that I have backlog and I don't have to force myself to do something I don't want to do or not have a video. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to swap back over to the main screen. I don't know if I'm going to keep it simple, but so I went to a normal pharmacy yesterday. They didn't have my antibiotics, so I went to the backup pharmacy yesterday. They didn't have my antibiotics either, but they were like, oh, we can order them in for you. They'll arrive tomorrow, it's fine. So my stepdad goes to get them for me and they're like, I called them and they're like, yeah, it's here. My stepdad goes to get it and he's like, no, they're not there. He said that they're not there. You don't have a prescription. Then I call them back and they're like, oh no, I can't find them. And then I speak to the same woman that I spoke to earlier and she's like, yeah, they are here. And then so I was like, right, so if I send my dad back, he will be able to go pick them up for me. And she's like, yes, I'll deal with it personally. I was like, right, great. So I send them back and I'm like, if there's an issue, call me. And they were like, no, that's not here. But then the lady that I spoke to came back from lunch and gave them to him. So now I've got them. And I just put the eardrops in and I've just sat here with my head like this for like 5 minutes. And because my eardrum is so swollen, or not my eardrum, my ear canal is so swollen, it's not going in. So I don't have any cotton wool either. So I've just had to like scrunch up kitchen roll and put it in my ear so that I can carry on doing this. But yeah, this is where we're at. By the time this video comes out, I should be fine because I recorded this on the same day as Sam and Colby. So by the time this one comes out, I should be good. If I'm not good, in terms of ear infections, I get them a lot because I'm chronically ill. That just seems to be where I don't get colds and stuff very often. So like if I'm gonna get sick, it's gonna be an ear infection. It's just how it is. So like I'm fine. No one needs to worry. But I can't hear shit right now out of this side. It's like 50% this side and I'm fine this side. But hopefully this goes better. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Let's just get into it, shall we?
When I first moved here, I thought it was really pretty and like nature, and I love wildlife, and I didn't know anything about the history before moving here, and I didn't even know about Corriganville. I didn't know what Corriganville was. I'd never heard of it.
Corriganville Park. These trails are charged with spiritual energy from throughout history. Locals report hearing Native American chanting echoing through the mountains, unexplained orbs, and even doppelgangers. Security guards have witnessed groups of people dressed in black robes entering the park at night, and this may explain some of the ritualistic symbols and altars that are found throughout the park today. Hundreds of mysterious have led locals to believe there's a darker force that could be luring people into the park. Despite this being sacred land blessed by indigenous people, this land has been a spot for cult rituals and satanic worshipping. There's a spiritual warfare going on, and one resident who lives on the land feels the direct effects of the multiple spirits on her property, and she reached out to us for help.
Oh, this is going to be a research heavy one, I can feel it. Did she reach out to you for help or for attention? I don't know anything about her. I'm just going to leave that one there. I just thought I'd pose the question.
Scared to death. I thought, well, what the hell was going on? I thought, does this mean that I'm gonna die? I thought, I didn't know.
So I'm in my car, all packed up and ready to meet Jim for tonight's investigation. We are heading to Corriganville Park, which may look familiar because we were there a couple of months ago filming for the Manson Tunnel murder episode. This place is no joke. So many people reached out about their own paranormal experiences around that area, but one viewer in particular reached out to us really needing our help, as she actually lives in one of the maybe 5 houses on the property, and she had some very strange stories to tell us. So last week, me and Jim were actually on an investigation like 3 hours away up on top of a mountain somewhere, and when she reached out to us, we literally dropped everything to jump on this opportunity, and we headed to her home immediately. Now, the footage that you're about to see took place over the course of maybe an hour, but there was enough evidence for us to decide that we wanted to come back and do a real thorough investigation. So we're going back tonight with a psychic medium who doesn't know anything about where we're taking them tonight. So we're gonna go and investigate, and we're gonna get some answers to what is behind the hauntings on this property.
I will say it's a really pretty little house. Kind of cute.
I was talking about this this tree here. Did she say it's like, did you say 700 years old?
Oh yeah, you can tell that it's definitely an older tree, that's for sure. It's huge.
I don't want to go back to that tree with the markings on it to start off there.
Hey everybody, it's been like 2 weeks and I've just finished editing the video, and I just wanted to jump on real quick and throw in like an extra little disclaimer. Throughout the course of this video, I figure out and start theory crafting for a bigger theory, really. I knew nothing about this place going in, and it turns out that Corriganville is in Simi Valley, which 1 is over a natural fault line, and 2 is only 2.5 miles as the crow flies from the Santa Susana Field Laboratory, which was used around the 1950s and did experience a partial meltdown. So I really want to do a part 2 to do justice to this, and I want to go into the history of the land and why it could be experiencing the phenomena that it is. So I want to do a part 2. I don't know how long that's going to take me to put together, but it will be going into fault lines and what that can do to the environment, what this reactor, which experienced a partial meltdown and also they weren't venting correctly, has done to the environment, and also what effect that could have on the people that live in the environment and have prolonged exposure. So if you're interested in any of that, so we'll be going into like radiation and EMF and fault lines and all of that, specifically in Simi Valley, but we might throw in some other locations as like supporting evidence. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for it. I'll give you updates like as it's coming along if you want. So yeah, with that, I'll let you get back to the video. This is fine. I'll let you get back to the video now. Bye.
The trees in back, the one with the X on it, everybody, the neighbors all called it the hanging tree. I mean, literally, you could see rope marks. Come to find out from my neighbors, yes, it literally was a hanging tree. Because when they would come through here on the Wells Fargo Pony Express, the banditos, as they called them, then they would wait behind rocks or what have you, and they would, the women, the kids, so it really, truly was a hanging tree. You sometimes feel like somebody's watching you. It's hard to describe.
You can't see too well right now because it is dark, but this place is like a little village. It's really, really cool. They've worked really hard back here. If you just come down this way, this is the hanging tree. So you can see this marking. It's like the X on the tree here. And nobody knows what this is from. It's not painted on. It's not burnt on. It almost looks like it's just like pigments or something like that. Which is what Native Americans would use for cave paintings and things like that. So this is a huge piece of history right here. I kind of want to touch it. Wow. don't know why, but I feel like the energy, like the second I brought the REM pod out, the energy kind of shifted. I don't know if you're feeling that, but... Did you hear that? Sounded like something fell over.
Something could have fallen over. It's a town. There are other people around, but even if it, you know, wasn't caused by a human, it could have been caused by gravity.
My REM pod isn't turning on.
You need a battery?
No, this is a fresh battery. Which is kind of weird, because remember, like, when you gave her the walkie, and the walkie wasn't working? Like, randomly, the first time you gave her it? And we were playing about with it for like a couple minutes, and then it just started working.
Yeah.
This is actually a different brand as well, so I've never had any problems with this never working.
I think I got one more battery in my,
No, it's not the battery. I just put in 2 brand new batteries. It's not the battery.
Do you get the feeling you're being watched? I get that feeling.
I feel weird.
I mean, you very much could be being watched, but by people. A lot of these, like, small secluded towns like this are very territorial over the people that they let in, or the people that are around. So I wouldn't be surprised if you were being heavily watched by people. As for the REM pod, I don't know, sometimes tech breaks. I guess something there could be interfering with the electronics, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a paranormal something.
Wait. I'm just curious, was that always like that? I just filmed that tree. That bark wasn't like that?
No.
The bark is obviously falling off of that tree. It is not outside the realm of possibility that it just fell off the tree. If the bark on the tree hadn't like half fallen off already, I'd be a bit more like, that's weird. But it's not that weird if you think about it, because half the bark is already off the tree.
Do you think someone's fucking with us?
I do. I just get that feeling. That was too loud right there for that just to randomly have happened. You know? I really feel like maybe not.
Listen, I would say if this was anybody else, maybe. But I really don't think that we're getting fucked with or anything like that, because we know this area. We know how weird this area is. We've experienced it ourselves. Weird shit happens here all the fucking time. And also, the REM pod not working, the walkie's not working. We've not even started our investigation. Yes, there were a couple of really loud noises, but the second I brought my REM pod out, I started feeling extremely uneasy. I don't know what's there, but it knows why we're there, and it doesn't want us there. That's what I think.
One of the strange...
I think them being fucked with is probably more likely. I need to do more research into this place. I mean, obviously, I briefly Googled it, but I need to do more research to form like a solid opinion as to whether I think that it could be haunted or not. But if it is, I don't want to fall into that native evil burial ground trope. I don't want to do that. But from what I know more generally about places that are more central native sites, there are more unexplained things that do happen. I don't know, I do feel like there are things in this world that we can't quite explain. I don't know, let's just keep watching.
Strangest things that happened to me here was I wasn't home. I came home that evening about midnight, and when I came home, my son came in the kitchen and he said, "Did you just get home?" I said, "Yes, I just got home." He goes, "Just now? You just got home?" I said, "Yeah, I got home just now." He says, I said, "Why?" And at first he didn't want to tell me. And then finally he did. And he said, "Because I was in my room and I heard something in the kitchen, so I came out to the kitchen and I saw you at the refrigerator door looking in the refrigerator door open. And I said hi, and you just kind of went, and didn't really say anything, so I figured maybe you were upset, so I went back in my room." He says, "But it couldn't have been you because you just got home." He said, "But I know it was you." When he told me that, I was scared to death. I thought, well, what the hell was going on? I thought, does this mean that I'm gonna die? I thought, I didn't know. And I still don't have any idea how that could happen. I mean, because he clearly saw me. If I could leave this place, I would. But I feel that there's something that needs to be put to rest here, or something evil that needs to be gone, that needs to go away. if there's something, an attachment or something, I don't want anything to be attached to me, and me take something that's not good, evil, demonic, anything that's not good. I don't want to take anything with me anywhere. It needs to be gotten rid of. I mean, for good.
If you truly believe that, then you call like a native shaman or something. You don't call your local YouTubers. Just me?
Just reviewing the footage of when we first came in here, that bark was on that tree, and what was the first thing that...
Yes, but look at it. It's the massive gap there. It is half hanging off. Either somebody could have just come past and ripped it off, or it just fell off naturally. Jesus.
That bark was on that tree, and what was the first thing that she done when she brought us in here? She was like, look at this tree. I was like, that's a gorgeous tree. And we were talking about the tree. I don't know if that's what that noise was. Imagine if we were standing under there. This is like a weird, I don't know if you want to call it omen or whatever, and I know you guys are probably thinking it's just a tree, but this is weird. This is weird to me. The timing of this.
It's just gravity. It's just physics. Yeah, I guess the timing of it is a little weird, but it's an isolated incident, so shit happens.
Go for Alicia.
Yes?
We're just on the side of the house here at the big tree if you want to step out for just 2 seconds.
What, that happened just now?
Yeah. Nobody else is outside or anything?
No.
Okay.
I can't believe I didn't
like a
hear that.
warning sign. That's how I feel like that's a warning sign. Well, if there's anything here with us right now, if you were the one that knocked the bark off of the tree like that, was that a warning sign? Can you make that device light up for us? Can you go to the antenna? Can you touch that for us? Did you want us to leave? Why is it making that high-pitched noise?
I don't know.
Can you make that stop? Can you hear it? It's going up and down.
With the issues with the REM pod, I wouldn't be trusting that, just generally, but they're using walkie-talkies.
Listen to that. What? Look, there is. And there's no wind.
Can you cut it off, please?
Good job. Are you a child spirit? Can you light that up if you're a child?
Okay.
When-
I think that REM pod's faulty, personally, but even if it's not, they're using walkie-talkies around it, and also there could be bugs or things flying around the antenna that they can't see because it's dark. Yeah, they got light shining right on it, but still. Also, something I recently learned is the ground naturally gives off EMF. I learned that during that train tunnel video, actually, and that, oh my god, there's something in my eye. Not that REM pods can be trusted naturally anyways, but apparently the ground and the outside give off natural levels of EMF, so they can't be trusted outside. So, well, you know.
When Jeffrey and I were sitting in the living room watching TV, I looked to the front door. I could see a little boy and a little girl standing there. They were standing outside of the door, but with the beveled windows, you wouldn't be able to see clear figures of them, but I could see them clearly. And they looked like Little House on the Prairie. The little girl had dark hair and with 2 braids, one on either side, and the little boy had sandy blonde hair with the crop cut hair and bangs, and they were just standing there and just really sad. And it's something, I don't know why, but I thought fire. Maybe if they died in a fire, I don't know. And then come to find out later on, I wasn't the only one that saw or heard or experienced strange things. Also, in the house, Jeffrey and I, things would fall around us all the time. I mean, it was like became a regular occurrence where it was like no big deal. Things that there's no way they could fall off of a shelf or something like that. I didn't want to be afraid, and I wasn't going to let myself be afraid.
Exactly. When things become a regular occurrence, you get desensitized to it and it becomes no big deal. Thank you. Assuming she's telling the truth, but thank you. That proves my entire point with literally everything else. There's all these ghost hunters and fake mediums and everything being like, oh my god, it's so scary. And they've been doing this for literal years. No. Once you're exposed to it enough, you become desensitized to it and it becomes no big deal. Thank you.
So I just would ignore it. I've never talked about this stuff like that because it's not comfortable talking about, negative dark energies. It's almost like I feel if I talk about the negative dark energies around here, it may bring them out.
In my experience, that's not how it works. It's actually when you ignore it that it gets more. And not so negative and dark, but just like the unexplained activity, I guess you could call it, is in my personal experience. And I've heard other people that I trust talk about it as well, is that when you're ignoring it, things just happen. When you're actively looking for it and trying to seek it out, shit all happens, typically. So actually ignoring it can make it worse. But I do understand her line of thinking though. If she's scared of this, if she's like Christian or, thinking that it's dark or evil or negative in some way, then yeah, I can see why she wouldn't want to talk about it. But at the same time, she called her local YouTubers. So there's also that. I don't fully believe what she's saying, but if she's telling the truth, if you're on native land and you're worried that it's a dark, negative force, I would be trying to get in touch with native shamans. It's their land. Historically, it's their land. It still should be their land. It is possibly something from their folklore. They're the ones you should be calling. That's just my opinion, though.
So the apparitions of the boy and the girl, were they outside or inside?
Outside.
Outside, okay.
But they were right outside the door, but I could see 4 figures.
Okay, if there's any children here that want to talk to Alicia, can you go ahead? Can you touch that REM pod? You can take energy from our batteries, you can take energy from our other devices.
It's a brand new battery. It's just drained
What?
completely. I just put a brand new battery in.
As well?
Yes. These are all fresh batteries.
This is kind of crazy to me. This is probably...
Can electromagnetic fields drain batteries? Like sometimes you get like geo-electromagnetic fields, like natural ones. Right, so I was trying to find information out about the natural EMF levels in that exact area. I couldn't really find anything. If I find anything in editing, I will put it up on the screen now. Okay, cool. I'm actually so interested in EMF. It's ridiculous. Why am I disinterested in EMF? I don't know, but I really want to put together a video on like what EMF is, because I feel like people are like, oh, EMF goes through, and it's not. It's so much more complicated than that. It's fascinating. Like this natural EMF that comes out of the ground, and obviously like solar flares that like EMF and all that sort of stuff. I really want to put a video together on it, so I'm going to be working on that sort of quietly in the background. Don't know how long it's going to take me. Guess we'll see. Anyway, let's continue.
probably the most drainage that I've ever had on an investigation.
Also, I forgot, if this is an area where there are high levels of natural EMF, what could be happening is all EMF sickness symptoms. It could be their body is being flooded with so much EMF they are hallucinating and other EMF sickness things that I will probably put on the screen because I'm an over-explainer. But yeah, it's fascinating. Anyway, I'm going to continue.
Coming from batteries and technical equipment, I think we have to come back and really get a fresh start at this.
I think so too. I mean, I would really, truly appreciate it if you did.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
truly.
make a game plan. How many batteries have you tried so far?
4 now.
Wow. Okay.
And that's not cool for it to stress you out, because that means you're feeling it, right?
I mean, I feel like I've been off.
What?
I just cut it on and it's recording. I didn't even press record. It's
What?
All I did was just cut it on because the battery was drained. And what is it? It's recording. It's been recording for a minute. I just put the battery in.
Natural EMFs theoretically could be messing with the technology as well. Anyway, I'm going to stop banging on about that.
So my camera just turned off by itself. Jim's camera turned on by itself. Mine's turned off by itself. I think whatever is here is intelligent. I think we've gathered enough evidence that there is something here. I think we need to go back, research, have a game plan, come back. We really, really need to have a game plan for this place.
From what I understand, I'm finding out more and more there has been many in Corriganville. Many, and that's not normal. That's not normal in one place.
I mean, it depends on the type of people in the place. Like, if Corriganville is a place where people go to escape society or because they're in poverty or any other sort of vulnerable reason, a higher rate would totally make sense. Just something to think on.
I do know of a that it was so unlike this person to commit, and it happened in Corriganville. I don't know if I should talk about it.
Okay, that's fine.
It's a really bad feeling that there's been that much death, that much negative death. I mean, it's not like they're natural deaths, and that's really scary to think. It's almost like something is going on in the area to cause that to happen.
I am here with
Michael Hanna.
He is the psychic medium that I brought here so he can do a sweep around the property, and we're just going to see if anything kind of corresponds.
Michael, what? I heard Hannon. That might be not what I heard though. It might be Hannah. I don't know. Oh, okay. I thought I was gonna get lucky with that. I did not. Is he into magic? Magician. But this told me everything I need to know. He's cold reading. He's a con artist.
He is the psychic medium that I brought here so he can do a sweep around the property, and we're just going to see if anything kind of corresponds to the stories that Alicia's been telling us, to what you've been picking up on.
The terrible noise.
I didn't hear you. There was something making a noise.
Yeah, I wasn't pressing anything, and all of a sudden it went.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
Something's trying to communicate with her.
If you want to step outside, we're outside by the car.
There may be something trying to draw energy out of the radio that she has, which is causing that issue.
I wasn't even touching anything, nothing, and it was all of a sudden it really loud.
Static sounding?
Yes, very much so.
So one of the first things was,
This tree stump?
yes, when we came here last week, the first thing that I said to Alicia was, wow, what a beautiful tree, that's really cool. And you said the exact same thing when you walked in.
Well, you're drawn to it. It's automatic.
Yeah, it's a very pretty tree. Even if it is cut down, it's a beautiful tree. It's very much a point of conversation, if nothing else.
No, don't stand too close to the tree, because when we were investigating last time, we were in the back. I actually ended up touching another tree that we're going to bring you to, and the second I touched that tree, we heard this really loud crashing noise. So a couple of minutes go by, and we walk by here, and I swear to God, this tree, this whole side, it had bark on it when we first got here.
Oh, the bark came off.
And I mean, it was a pile on the floor right here.
Really?
It was a pile. Like, if somebody was standing underneath that at the time, like, it could have seriously injured you.
I may be feeling.
You heard more than one noise when you were back there. There is no way to tell that that was the moment that the bark fell down. Also, the lady in the house that I can't remember the name of said that she didn't hear anything and she was closer to that tree than you were. So that leads me to believe that when the bark did fall, it didn't really make a noise, which would make sense because bark doesn't weigh very much. And if it's just sliding down off of the tree because of gravity, it's probably not going to make that much noise.
This right now, but to be honest with you, there's multiple souls or energies in here, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint at this point because we just started.
It's hard to pinpoint at this point because you're a con artist and you've got nothing to go cold read off of yet, other than the radio, which as soon as it was mentioned, you were like, oh yeah, spirit communication. Immediate. Ugh, he's making me feel icky. I just feel like greasy. Ugh. Gonna ick me out. Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit. I'm especially allergic to manipulation. So, this is gonna be real comfy for me.
Oh, there
When
she
I
is.
was in the house, it did it again. I turned my phone on to record it, and it was doing that noise again. That I mean, really, really loud in the kitchen.
And I'm not pressing any buttons either, so.
Well, you've got your hands full,
There's
Jen.
something interfering with the electrical or the flow of the energy of the battery.
Something.
We already know that this site is a hotspot for technology being weird. It is notable though that the walkie-talkies weren't having issues, or at least they didn't put it in the video if they were, but the walkie-talkies weren't having issues last time, but they are this time. So I don't know if that means anything, but I just thought I'd call it out.
I think what I'm more curious about than anything else is the history of the place. Now, let me give you an example of what I'm referring to. I don't know what you know and what you don't know, but
I didn't press anything.
Your walkie just went off.
yeah. if I was to ask you something from, let's say, the year 1940, would anybody know? If there was a person that played in this tree, let's say it was a young person that played in this tree that may have played around this tree and I'm picking up that energy, would anybody know about that person? Like if I asked the history?
Possibly.
I'm asking only because I'm sensing a young person here, and I feel it's a female, not a male, but a young girl.
So surely a true medium would just know. If you can truly communicate with spirits, you would just know. You would be able to tell. He needs somebody who knows the history, so he's got somebody to cold read off of. God, it's arseholes like this that destroyed my family. This is actually going to make me upset. Cool. Great. Love this. Oh, this is great for me. My nan passed away when I was little. Like 7. I was 7. And my granddad completely fell apart. And one of the last things he ever said to me before he got into a relationship with a gold digger and ran off and abandoned me and everybody else was, don't trust mediums. They're all liars and con artists. Because he threw so much money into trying to talk to my nan again. Oh, I didn't expect this to hit me like that. Okay, I'm going to take 5 and I'm going to make a cup of tea. And then I will be back. Right, got my cup of tea. And let's keep going with this bullshit, shall we?
Girl, yes. But I just feel like this was an area that she played in.
Are you getting like a sense of what she may look like?
I'm guessing age because I'm not really sure about age, but I would say somewhere between 9 and 12. But I feel like, and then there's a female, another woman, but it might be her mom, that basically was out in that area that kind of comes over and talks to her, and I guess she called her in. So I don't know if this was a farm type situation where she called her daughter in, but I'm not real familiar with this.
The first thing that came to my mind was the little girl that you saw. Yeah. You said she looked very Little House on the Prairie style as well.
Yeah, it's that time period. It's not current. This is something from a while ago, and that's why I asked you about
1940s. It's quite recent if you think about it. It's not Little House on the Prairie style. When was Little House on the Prairie? During the 1870s to 1890s. It's not even close to 1940. The fashion is completely different. God, this guy is full of shit.
1940.
There has been a spirit scene here by Alicia. Actually, it was at the front of the house, and it was a young girl. And how old would you say that she would have been?
Between 9 and 12.
There you go. There you have it.
Between 9 and 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Little House on the Prairie type
that's what I'm picking up.
This could...
No, it isn't. You said 1940. 1940 and 1870. Very different time periods, very different aesthetics, very different fashion, very different worlds.
Could essentially be a place where she comes back because she has good memories here.
That's what
and she likes to play around this area.
That's what I'm picking up.
Do you think it could...
Also, that little girl was also seen with a little boy, so why is he not picking up the little boy? Because he doesn't know about the little boy.
possibly be more than the little girl?
Oh, like I said, I feel multiple spirits or energies here, and I'm not sure exactly why, but I pinpointed the little girl first because she's my first target, so to speak, and she's the one who made herself known to me first. She's connected with the fire in some way, too. I don't know what that's all about either.
And they looked like Little House on the Prairie. The little girl had dark hair and with two braids, one on either side, and it's something, I don't know why, but I thought fire. Maybe if they died in a fire, I don't know.
I mean, it's not that unrealistic of a guess to go fire, especially one, it's California, and two, it's very dry, it's very barren. Lots of things go up in flames, especially back then. A fire death is probably one of your more likely accidental deaths than, say, like drowning, for instance. Now, if they were closer to the ocean or near a well or a lake or something, he probably would have guessed drowning. But in terms of young accidental death, fire is a pretty likely choice.
Is there a fire issue?
I don't know, but I got the same thing when I saw her.
That's literally what she said.
Exactly what I said.
And that's so connected with her, and I don't know how, but that's what she's showing me.
Yeah.
This is what I'm picking up so far. Because I feel like there's multiple spirits there that was something very...
We also don't know how much any of them are letting on about what they know or what they suspect or anything like that. We can only see what's on camera, we don't know what's been cut. So any of them could be letting on, even accidentally, to what they already know, and because he's very good at cold reading, picking up on that and he's monopolizing it.
Very negative in that tree, and please don't say anything yet, but there's something very negative in that particular tree that more than one soul in that one tree, meaning they hanging or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? So
Exactly.
She's already mentioned that there's something evil or negative. Like, she's been asking focused questions about evil and negative stuff. And, big tree. Most big, sturdy trees were used as hanging trees because they had the big branches that could take that. Not everybody had, like, the custom-built gallows. If you had a big, sturdy tree, that would probably do. Again, for the time period, that is very normal. It's not an out-there guess. It's a pretty safe guess.
Hanging tree. It's called. It is the hanging tree.
It's called the hanging tree.
Never mind.
Everybody knows. There's
Okay.
the limb that he cut had rope marks on it.
Okay.
We can tell that there's so many spirits here. Alicia feels
Oh
it
yeah,
too.
there's quite a few.
And so what you were saying right there,
We genuinely don't know if he had time to look up details of this property or not. If he didn't, he's still getting enough information from those guys and also safe bets on sort of the time period. Through their own admission, he's got enough to cold read and bounce off of, and he seems pretty good at it, to be honest. But he gives me the ick.
that makes so much more sense
Absolutely.
now. Yeah.
Because I know he's feeling it physically.
Yeah.
I can sense it from him. So I don't. I don't know if you're still feeling it, but I sense that you're feeling
No,
some of
I
it.
feel nauseated.
Yeah.
And I got a headache.
Yeah, but you can see in his face he doesn't feel good. So again, cold reading, like that is not the face of somebody that feels okay. Whenever the camera pans on him, you can tell he does not feel good.
So this is the front porch. This is one of the areas where I feel that there could...
Completely unrelated to anything, but why does every American feel like they need to have a flag on their house? And that's just not a thing. Basically anywhere else. I briefly dated, this isn't relevant to anything really, but I briefly dated an American. Worst decision I ever made. No, actually not the worst decision I've ever made, but it's up there. And very close to my ex-husband in terms of behaviour, but I didn't know that until we met. 4 days into a 14-day trip, and I'm like, nah, I can't do this. I'm done. But they got really aggy with me, because when we were in person together in America, I was counting, like whenever we would go out, I would just be counting the flags. Because it's just not a thing, like unless the football's on here, and then we sometimes hang flags out of windows and stuff, not me personally, but like people around. You just don't see flags here, unless they're like on official buildings or like public buildings or something. Like not every single home basically has a flag on it.
could be spirit activity because on the steps.
Yeah, I'm getting real bad feeling in my stomach. When I get that, it usually means it's a really strong energy. I don't usually get that all the time, but this is one right now where she's sitting there. The little girl.
The little
or
girl.
a little girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this is the exact area where Alicia saw the little girl. Was right outside the door right there, and
So
and there was a
she's
little
sitting
boy
here
as well. Yeah.
I don't. When I'm looking at her now, she's changed. Her demeanor's changed. It went from being like playful and having a good time to the eyes turning dark. So I don't know what that's about.
Okay.
The eyes turned very dark for me, and I didn't understand that.
Okay, but that is also a very normal paranormal thing. Again, still nothing outside the bounds of cold reading. Because not everything he says lands, and if it doesn't land, he just keeps babbling, he just keeps talking. If you notice that he doesn't shut up. But he's just spouting off so much crap. But when something lands, he like really focuses in on that. But if that hadn't have landed, he just would have kept going.
Because she looked up at me at first, she reached out her hand, and all of a sudden her eyes or her face turned very dark, and I didn't get it.
I have full chills as well, Alicia.
Oh my God.
But that's what I picked up. I don't understand that or what that means, but that's what I...
It's also a very evil and negative connotation thing, and we already know that they've led on to possibly evil things being around the property.
I wish I knew about this little girl, because I feel like there was something very wrong done to her, okay? Almost like, I'm like I told you about the fire, now I'm feeling water. So the water is my drowning thing, and my thing where she's choking or she's having a hard time breathing, and she drowned, like her lungs filled, or she actually has been drowned. But I do feel that's why the face turned very dark, and I don't know why.
Okay.
So...
You're shaking your head. What are you thinking?
No, it's like I can feel her. It's a horrible feeling.
yeah.
One thing that is interesting, because you did point out that she was sitting on the step right there.
Right on the end.
Now, I'll tell you what, and this is weird, Jim, because when we were here last week, that's actually, he set his camera up right there on that top step, and that was when your battery drained, and you put in like 4 different batteries, and they were just draining, literally draining after the next battery
This
draining.
is her death spot. If you want to put something there, I guarantee you she'll talk to you. I really do. She's showing me a candle, and I don't know what that means, but I think this has something to do with the fire. She may have created that fire or caused it. She burned her hair. I'm picking up all kinds of little vignettes, and when I'm picking up
See what I mean? With the, he just doesn't stop talking and he gives a pause and then nothing happens. And then he has to keep talking. And it's very jumpy. I know there's obviously like cuts in this, but it's very, even like in uncut sections, it's very sort of like, and I'm going to pause so you can say something and give me something to feed off of, and you're just standing there nodding. So I've got nothing to go on, so I need to come up with something. So, and then it keeps going for a little bit and then it happens again. And then it keeps going for a little bit and then it happens again. It's not fluid talking, like he actually knows what he's talking about. And how he jumped from fire to drowning, back to fire because the drowning didn't land. And now he's talking about the candle. And, you know, back then when fires started, it was probably going to be a candle because they didn't have power. Everything was candlelight, everything was fire, everything was flame. So if a fire was going to spiral out of control, it was probably going to be a candle.
I do think she's an E name, like an Emily or an Amelia, but I do think it's one of those old-fashioned names.
Well, I'm going to set up the static candles because we set up the REM pods before and, you know, there was nothing really interfering with the electromagnetic field, so maybe the spirit will actually start interfering with the static field because we know that she likes to play with walkie-talkies. So, who knows?
And gonna put on the Ovilus too.
Yeah. We're going to stick on the Ovilus and see if any names pop up. If we have a name, we might even get more answers. So that's where we are right now.
Ovilus on.
Oh, and it's a phone app. Of course it is.
Can you give us a name? If there's a little girl here, can you please tell us what your name is? You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be scared of us. We're here to work with you, not against you. And we just wanted to figure out your story a little bit more.
Details.
Yes, we want to know the details of your story because that is one thing that we're missing here. So can you tell us some of the details of your story? And whilst we're doing this, if anything comes to mind, you just let us know.
Did you do this before?
Static! Static! It said static, literally. Like, what was I just saying?
But it said something else after that and you've completely ignored it. Geek? Is it geek? Yeah, geek. So it said geek. Nothing. They've said absolutely nothing. They've completely ignored that one because it doesn't fit their narrative.
Time to set up the static static candles I have right here as well. But then they will turn on.
Fear.
I knew you were afraid. You don't have anything to be afraid of. The candles won't burn you. All you have to do is touch one of them and it turns it off. It's kind of a little game. You want to try it?
Did you guys hear that? Did anybody hear that?
Mm-hmm.
To the right, it was like a booming like boom boom.
Do you have a rock in your hand? Do you have a little stone in your hand?
Really? But getting yes from that? I can't explain the "oh, I see you" thing. Zero idea with that. Unless it was like somebody else or they put it in post. I don't know. I'm not trying to gloss over it, but I've got nothing really to say on it because I genuinely don't know. I'm not saying that they did put it in post or anything. I'm trying to focus more on what I do know or have a theory on. So I'm not trying to like gloss anything over.
Lets us know you're there. Thank you.
Wow.
Can you touch it again?
What happened to the spirit doesn't communicate through the electromagnetic field. This is the electromagnetic field.
So basically right now what we're going to do is we're going to do an Estes method right underneath this tree here. This is the tree where the bark fell earlier, well last week anyway. I think that we've already established that the spirit here likes to communicate through static electricity. That's why I think that the spirit box is a really good option right now. So let's get to it. Hello.
Hi, do you have a message for us?
Did something just hit my nose?
Not that we're
like a
aware
bug
of.
or anything like that?
No, I didn't see anything.
Holy shit, I literally just felt like something just
Touched you?
like just pinched my nose.
Yeah.
I couldn't see anything, but it could have been like a loose thread in the nose thing, or I don't know. But as I said, when you cut off your senses, your other senses go into overdrive, so it could have just been that.
I just heard a fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Not a way to talk to a lady.
Do you know what our names are?
Mike,
That's me.
I see you. Oh, and then I heard like a little girl giggle.
Mic is also a very common word for the radio. Mic, the name, microphone, microscope, other words beginning with mic that I can't think of. So, Also, we can't hear it. I know some teams do have it recording like on a splitter. Most don't. So like I'm not critiquing them for that necessarily, but it's noteworthy that we can't hear it and we just have to take a word for it. I want to listen to that with my eyes closed to take the suggestion out of my head. No, I can't get the suggestion out of my head. I can't think of a natural thing that could have been like a noise. I mean, it could have just been like a warbling sort of noise. Could it have been a bird? This is probably a reach, but also the most logical answer is birds like ravens. I'm not sure about the wildlife in the area, but birds like ravens and crows and things like that mimic sounds. That's why in the forest you get a lot of like, hey, and hello. Well, not a lot of, but like the voices are speaking English, but it's wrong. It's not quite right. It's quite robotic in a way. And to me, that sounds wrong and quite robotic in a way. It sounds very similar to when I have researched these ravens and stuff speaking English. Because they're mimic birds, like parrots. They don't do it as often, but they can do it. And, oh, I see you, is a very human phrase. Like you're wandering around and you see a raven, or you hear something, you're not expecting to see a raven or whatever, and you look up and you go, oh, I see you. It's just it's a shock thing. It's like, oh, okay, I see you. Like it's not an uncommon human phrase for seeing something unexpected. So it is a phrase that a raven or a wild bird that can mimic could pick up on. So if this raven or whatever is like sat on the roof or in a tree kind of close by and it's seen people, it could say the people phrase that it knows. I'm not saying that's particularly likely. As I said, I don't know the animals in the area of California, but it is something that can happen. And that's probably my lead theory because of how it sounds. If I can, I will try and like put in like now footage of ravens or crows or whatever mimicking human speech and see what you think.
So ravens are excellent at mimicking sounds they hear. Mischief, can you say hello?
Hello.
He does all sorts of voices. Can you say hi?
Hi. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
This isn't working out, Daniel.
You're right. You're right. You alright? I'm alright. I'm alright.
Okay, cool. Let's carry on.
My name is Jim.
I don't care.
What do you care about?
This place?
Why do you care about this place?
Don't want to talk?
You don't want to talk. Do you want us to leave?
Go.
Wow. Do you have a message for us?
Hang 'em.
Hang 'em.
This is just me talking, but I started feeling really sick.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to pull the mask off?
And then I just heard a male say, yeah, you did. You heard me?
Yes, we heard you. I'm tasting blood. I can't breathe. Are you angry?
Why are you so upset? Did something happen to you here? What's your problem?
Don't put your hands on her. Don't even think about it. What's the matter?
I just felt somebody touch my shoulder.
Yeah, you've got somebody around you, and I told them to keep their hands off of you.
Oh my god, that was
Yeah, I told him to keep his hands off because I felt like they were like leering over you, kind of leaning over you.
Yeah.
And I had made a comment a few minutes ago, don't touch her or don't get near her, because I felt like they were getting too close.
Yeah.
And you said I started feeling nauseated, and I felt like that's because they were so close to you.
Yeah, definitely felt like, I felt like I zoned out through that entire thing, but I do remember, like, I started feeling really nauseous.
Yeah.
Really nauseous.
What I'm picking up, the energy I'm picking up are the...
I really feel like there is heightened natural EMF in that area, which would explain all the nausea and stuff like that. I still think he's cold reading, you know, especially if it was like quiet for a long time, just saying something like that. Even if nothing had touched her, it would have been like, oh, they listened to me. And then if something did touch her, because especially she's already felt like something hit her nose, the chances of her subconscious like searching for her environment around her and feeling something else is moderate to high. So like, yeah, he wasn't going to lose on that one either. She would feel something again, and he could play the hero of like, oh, I told them not to touch you. I was right, I knew that this would happen. Or he could be like, oh, I felt something around you, or I could see something around you, and I told them not to touch you, and then they didn't, they left you alone. It would also explain why it went quiet, because if he'd been like, oh, I told them to leave you alone, and then they left, that would be why nothing was coming through on the spirit box. Just my theory.
Persons, if it's more than one,
Yeah.
is very angry. There's a lot of anger there and just a lot of animosity towards something, and they're very protective and very territorial about this place.
If I tried it as well?
Yeah, go for
Oh,
it.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like there's something here between him and the tree. I know, right?
He's like losing his balance.
It's pushing him.
It's not necessarily pushing him, he's sat on a stool on a gravel path, and he's probably not used to being in sensory deprivation, so he's being a bit wobbly. It's not necessarily something pushing him.
Please don't be violent with this person sitting. They're just trying to get answers from you. Who are you? We can help you if we know who you are. What is your name?
Shut it.
Sounds like there's two people.
I know there's more than one.
Yeah. Who
There's
is?
a very angry one and then a little person.
If there's a child here, don't-
Mike,
Yes, that's me.
If there-
fuck you.
There it is again. You said the same thing.
Really?
Yes. Why do you speak like that? Why do you talk like that? There's no...
There could just be it's late night. There could be a very adult sort of radio show on. We don't know how fast the spirit box is scanning, or slow the spirit box is scanning for, those false positive readings that these teams definitely don't aim for. But yeah, if last time it was sort of a mic and then a fuck you, and now this time it's sort of a mic and then a fuck you, it could be a phrase or a quip on a radio show. Like, not just Mike, fuck you. Maybe one of the presenters is called Mike, and it is a, hey, Mike, fuck you kind of thing. Or it could be part of a longer phrase. Who knows?
No reason.
Still here?
Yeah, we're still here and so are you.
Leave.
Why?
You're using me.
No, we want answers. We want to know who you are.
Secrets.
Oh.
Did you do something bad here on the property?
Real bad.
Oh.
What did you do? You can tell us. Just tell us. What was it that you done here?
Smoke.
Smoke?
There's some fire. There's something to do with fire.
Are we
Did you
talking-
cause a fire?
Are we talking to the little girl now?
Child.
If that's the child that we're speaking to right now, can you give us a possible name?
Emma.
Emma.
That's my E. Okay.
Emma. Oh my gosh.
You heard me.
I know, we
Yes,
did hear
heard
you,
We
Emma.
heard you.
I thought it was
Thank
Emily,
you.
but thank you. We appreciate you saying that.
Important.
Yeah, tell us.
Tell us what's important.
I did it.
Without being able to hear what he's listening to, there's no way to determine whether he's actually hearing what he thinks he's hearing, or whether it's his subconscious confirmation bias, which is unfortunate. I like listening to this sort of things and seeing what I can hear from like a non-biased perspective, but oh well, no, there's nothing I can do about it.
So are you guilty for
Hell.
this little girl, and you feel like you're going through hell because of the little girl?
You heard me.
Yes.
Where did you?
Neck.
Neck.
So your neck was broken from being hung? Was that
Rope.
you? Yes.
I did it.
I'm just going to ask all the other spirits to step aside for a second. Please let Emma come forward.
We're all here.
We know.
I know that you're all here, and we do want to know everybody's stories, but there's
12.
There's 12 of you.
Can you confirm that with a yes or a no?
You heard.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
12 of you.
You heard isn't a yes or a no. I'm just saying.
This is me talking. There's like a bunch of laughs. Joshua.
Was that a name for a little boy? It was a J name I picked up.
Was it?
Josh.
Okay. Yeah, back there.
Emma.
Emma and Josh.
Emma and Josh. Are you the two?
Of course he picked up on that earlier, and he just didn't say anything till now, because he didn't know prior to now.
Children?
Young.
Yeah. Are you the two young children that Alicia saw at her front door? How old is Josh?
10.
Okay. Did you want to stop around here? I think
Gone.
We got two names.
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
That was the first time you ever done that?
First time.
You done good. I definitely feel like there is, obviously we know that there's a young girl spirit here and there's a young boy spirit here, and now we have the name, Emma and Josh. I feel like there's another male spirit here who's not happy that we're trying to get this story because he doesn't want us to tell their story. Or Emma's story at least, She set a fire and burned something down or something significant down. And the older male spirit feels very responsible. I don't know if there was some kind of altercation between them. I don't even know if maybe he's the one that killed her.
That's what I'm picking up, is he feels responsible for her death.
But he didn't mean to. I feel like it was an accident.
It comes across that way. It was not done intentionally,
Yeah.
and it just happened, and he feels very guilty, and he feels like he's living in hell because of it.
Yeah, I'm
I feel
sure.
very angry.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
I
a lot
feel
of anger.
angry.
A lot of anger coming through you.
Mike came
Yeah.
up, and then like
When I came up when you were doing it too.
an F you, Mike. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's honestly because we have a psychic medium.
Yeah.
Can I agree with the fake spirits? Fuck you, Mike. Wholeheartedly agree. Yeah, there's something faulty with that walkie-talkie. If it's been going off like that the entire time, I mean, could the batteries in it be dying? Is it likely to do like staticky things if the batteries are dying? Because battery decay on that property has been an issue from what we've already seen. Again, it could be like a natural electromagnetic field kind of issue, but yeah, it's just where my mind goes with it.
Okay, so all night Alicia has been saying when she goes into her home, the walkie-talkie that we gave her keeps on going off randomly. She's gonna show us right now what she means by it. So last time we were here, Alicia, she was actually inside the house for the most part, and you know, same walkie and everything like that, and it never done that. So if it's doing it now, then I feel like that is because there is something trying to communicate with us right now. Let's just go check it out. You are not touching that. Put it down there. It's when you're touching it? But look, your fingers are not touching, like...
Move it. I'm not touching.
She's not touching anything.
Look, it's doing it again. That is insane.
Do you have something to say? You can talk through this. If it says something, I'm going to drop this and run.
Why? You're a psychic medium, you should be used to things like this. Why would you drop it and run if it said something? Is that because maybe you're not a psychic medium and you're a con man? It's doing it in the very middle of the kitchen. There's got to be something in there causing the interference.
All of my batteries just got drained. All of them.
Yeah, so-
Literally every single battery you have. Oh, just as you said that, they started spiking.
No, it's not that. I was thinking the same thing, but it's not.
There's nothing
No,
under there.
Nothing that would cause that. I was looking for an electronic item.
Can you come out here?
How does he know that all his batteries drained? He's just been standing in the doorway with the camera like this. Like, how does he know that all the batteries are drained? One, his light's still on. Two, we don't know whether that camera is still recording or not. But if the camera has died, why is the light still on? Because surely that's on a battery. And has he checked all the other backup batteries in the bag? Just standing here like this? I don't think so. Maybe I'm being too pedantic with that phrase or that wording, but the light's still on. Like, that alone surely must be on a battery. So, like, how can all his batteries have just drained?
Here for just a second.
Okay. Whoa, huge spikes. Huge
I don't
spikes.
want you to leave.
Yeah, what's going on?
Super heavy. Like it's like something's pushing down on my chest.
Really?
Like really hard. Yeah. I don't know if it's just like my feeling here, but it's just like super heavy.
Well, Mike was saying that you had a pressure on his chest here.
Yeah.
Like literally
over
right
there when I was
here.
standing there.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure when I was over here. I'm getting dizzy from walking over here, so there's a lot of energy here.
1, power suggestion. 2, natural EMF. That's all.
So yeah, that might.
Whoa, come over here, smell.
Yeah.
I literally just got the weirdest. Oh, what is that? It
By
smells
touching
like
that, it lights up.
chemicals or something like
Can you light
that.
that up for me?
I smelled it the other night, and I didn't know where it was coming from. I went in the house. I thought, oh my God, is there something burning in it or something?
Yeah.
Something.
It
but it's
smells
not
like a chemical
plasticky-
burn.
But it's not a plasticky smell.
No.
Lighting up pretty good now.
Like
No,
some
it
kind
smells
of weird,
like
different.
yeah. It smells almost like an iron, like burn. There we go again. Smell.
It will
It's
light up.
weird. As fast as it comes, it goes as fast. You know.
Yeah.
Could someone be burning something kind of nearby, but it's just drifting on the wind? None of this, literally none of it, is making me think anything other than there is natural phenomena in the ground and like on the land.
Something's like tight around my throat right here right now.
This tree was used for hanging him. Am I right?
What, this tree?
Yeah. We know the one back there is different, but this particular one was used for that particular man that was talking to us that was angry. I do feel it has something to do with him. He's stopping me from talking right now.
If they have a specific hanging tree, why would they use a different tree? Doesn't, like, he's confused everybody there, and he just doesn't shut up talking. He just keeps talking and talking and talking, so nobody else can talk. But he confused like everybody with that.
Okay, so basically we have the REM pod set up here, so if anything goes next to it, it will light up. So if anything is, well, there we go. If anything is manipulating that little, that field right there.
Are you here with us?
Here.
Can you talk to us? We know you're here in the room. I knew you were a female.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, there's a girl in here.
Could it be Emma? Well, the walkie's going off. I'm gonna move this walkie over here. Okay, so I just want to explain real fast. We have this radio that keeps on going off by itself. Nobody's touching it. The REM pod was lighting up just recently, and also this K2 meter. And I'm not too sure why it's lighting up. It's something to do with this table, because underneath it literally doesn't light up. It's only when it's on the table. Do you see this?
Mm-hmm.
And then same with like over here. Look at that.
There's nothing electric on the table.
Look, even the chair. There we go. But look, even the chair.
I did that earlier. It was only lighting up to one button.
Did that say fuck all?
Yeah. Is your name Emma? That's the name that we got.
Emma! Did you guys hear that?
Yep.
No, that was already. I'm so over this. It's just pumping out syllable sounds, and then you're putting. It's not even syllable sounds, it's syllable-esque sounds. It's pumping out syllable-esque sounds so that people with their fucking biocomputer brains, which are searching for patterns with the subconscious power of suggestion and subconscious bias, are putting together the words and the sounds that fit the narrative. Because that doesn't sound like Emma to me, and that didn't sound like fuck to me. It just sounded like a syllable-esque spurt of noise.
Emma, is that you? How old are you?
Oh, there we go. That was a direct response. Yeah.
Are you the girl that plays out by the tree? The oak tree? That's you? That's you that plays out there?
Now, I will say that the direct responses that we're getting in this kitchen is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's
this is every single piece of equipment is going off. It's something in this house.
Yes, which leads me to believe that it's not supernatural at all. There is something either in the ground, on the property, in the table itself, maybe, is interfering with the equipment.
Emma, do you want me to stay here with you?
Wow.
She's
With my inconsistent hearing, this is so loud and it is giving me such a bad headache. Just like this constant assault of noise. But because I can't hear properly on this side, it's like warbling through my brain and it's so disorientating. It's awful.
stay here. She's not going anywhere. This is where she lives.
Just making sure. I just wanted
She just
to.
wants to make sure that you're okay with her being here with you. She watches over your house for you.
I'm just doing a quick sweep of here. Oh my god.
What? Where? Are they going through us or in us or something?
They might be near you, not through you.
Like nothing with you.
No, not me. They're with me all
Oh, I agree. Shut up, please. Just shut up.
the time.
Didn't you hear that?
You shut up. Don't talk to us like that. How dare you?
But of course it's lighting up with you.
It's lighting up right by her pocket. What could that mean? Also, that walkie-talkie was going off constantly when she was holding it. So could she have something on her that is lighting it up? Like, maybe not intentionally, but I don't know. Personally, if that was me, I would be like, hey, can I look in your pocket? Or can you empty your pocket? It just proved that there's nothing in your pocket. Because you know that's what people are going to say. Hi, I am people. Not all of them, just one of them.
Something doesn't like you specifically.
I know.
And also, there's a lot of syllable-esque sounds coming out of that device that they are completely ignoring because it doesn't fit their narrative.
And Jim, because Jim's getting really affected, so I feel like whatever. Oh, I heard he is come through. I don't think it's that. It's not Emma that's affecting the guys.
No.
It's the older, the male that's here, the aggressive one. I think it's also something to do with this home. I think that this home is the focal point, and I think all the activity around this home is just what's literally like pulsating out with this.
Well, it's almost like, a swirl of energy and like one
Yeah.
big vortex. Yeah.
But I also think the reason why she's in this house is because she feels like you're protecting her. Like,
Yeah.
do you feel the same way?
Oh, yeah, she
I think
clings
so
to
It
her.
was instinct for me to say I won't leave you being a mom.
Because you know
That's
what?
instinct.
Yeah, it is instinct, so they're just preying on her emotions.
It's instinct, for a mom to do that.
Yeah.
And it's instinct for me I mean, did you hear how I said that? I promise I won't leave you, Emma.
Yeah, she was very upset when she said that. You could hear the emotion in her voice. She is so invested in this. It breaks my heart to see people falling victim to these fake teams and these fake mediums, and it destroys lives. It destroys families. And I don't know whether Jade actually believes it, like fully or not. I mean, she sells it as if she does, so if she's lying or acting, then good job. But I don't know, I've just experienced the harm that it can do firsthand, and it really gets to me. And I know that this woman reached out to this team specifically, but again, I feel like if she actually wanted help, she should be reaching out to native shamans and people like that, rather than your local YouTube investigation team is not going to be able to do shit. They have zero training in literally anything. So, you know, like native shamans for this land specifically would have been the route to go. And that's even if it is paranormal. Like, there is a very real possibility this could be like a natural hotspot of something that we don't have the science to understand yet. Like whether it's, I don't know, natural EMF, natural magnets or something. I don't know. I just know that we have these natural energetic poles and stuff. Some people call them like portals and things like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is supernatural or it is paranormal. I guess also paranormal, I guess it is paranormal in the sense that it is a phenomena that we cannot explain, and this is not explainable, it's not normal, so it is paranormal. But it doesn't mean it's a ghost, it doesn't mean it's a dead spirit, it's just something that we currently do not have the science to explain. I want to check out the comments for this one. This is interesting. When manure is burned, the ammonia and gases that are trapped within can sometimes give off a very harsh chemical smell. They're using it in regards to like confirming it's a spirit or whatever. But if there are, I think it is like a ranch property, like just generally it's a ranch. At least that's what I've seen in my very brief Google. There could have been people local-ish that could have been, very well could have been burning something. Especially if it's like kind of far away and it's sort of like wafting slowly in on the breeze, because they said they could sometimes smell it, sometimes not. It was coming and going, which to me sort of says it's on the breeze rather than it's actually in the area. Honestly, no bells and whistles, intelligent and intuitive investigating, which results in crazy evidence that skeptics would have a hard time trying to debunk. Really? Really? Then what was this? Because I think I did a pretty good job. This is interesting. This person claims to have lived in the area. The whole valley has an aura about it. Lots of darkness. You just have to be careful. Yeah, you just have to be careful where you linger. That makes me think there is something in the ground that is causing this. If it's a whole valley. Because aren't valleys like old riverbeds and stuff? I was briefly reading like places, government websites. I can't remember whether it was like national park website or what it was. I will link it. But I was, if I can find it, I should be able to. It's pretty easy to find the first time. But they actually have like the proper history of the park, all the way through like the blah, 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 words. That man spirit's trying to stop me from speaking about the history of the property now. Like obviously, it's not just me being a little bit dyslexic and mucking up my sentences. I also have a little bit of a stutter sometimes, so it also could be that. But no, it's definitely that guy's spirit. Like he's trying to stop me from talking about the history of the property. Anyway, yeah, it had. For fuck's sake, I hate my stutter so much. It had like the history through like the Ice Age and whatever is before. I'm not good at dinosaur stuff, but it'll be interesting to read that and see what I can detect from like what that valley could have been. Maybe, I don't know if I can. I don't know how much detail it goes into. I just sort of scanned it looking for like current day section. It didn't really have one, which was unhelpful, but is what it is. But yeah, I don't really think there's anything else of note in here. Oh yeah, so it's editing me again. So what I actually wanted to do was, throughout the course of the video, I was writing down all the symptoms that they were experiencing / reporting. And what I wanted to do was put it into ChatGPT in the conversation where we've been having the talks about Simi Valley. Okay, so my question is, could the fault lines, natural EMF, natural radiation and the effects from SSFL in Simi Valley, specifically Corriganville, be causing the below symptoms? Please explain why and if any do not make sense and why. Reported symptoms: feeling like you're being watched, batteries draining, electronics not working properly, seeing doppelgangers, seeing ghosts, poltergeist activity, scared to talk about experiences for fear of it becoming worse, feeling like there's an evil presence, higher than average self-unaliving rate, lightheaded feeling, headache, nausea, tasting blood, which was from Michael, so that's an unreliable source, and he's the only one that reported that. Shortness of breath, emotional distress, specifically anger, heavy sensation on chest, dizziness, intermittent chemical type smell, and tightness of the throat. Obviously ChatGPT can be wrong, and we will take that into account, but I just wanted to see what it has to say, because we've been talking a lot about this kind of thing in this specific chat. So symptoms that can make sense environmentally or neurologically. These can be caused by a combination of low-level radiation, natural gas leaks like radon, EMF exposure, contaminants from SSFL, and or psychological stress from being in a paranormal hotspot. Batteries draining and electronics not working properly. EMF fluctuations, especially from fault zones or residual radiation, can disrupt circuits. SSFL contamination or ionizing radiation, even at low levels, could degrade battery performance faster than normal. Feeling lightheaded, having a headache, dizziness, nausea, shortness of breath, tightness in throat, and heavy chest sensation are all common symptoms of low-level radiation, EMF sensitivity, or exposure to chemicals or gases like radon, VOC fumes, or other pollutants possibly leaked from SSFL. Fault zones can also emit carbon monoxide or hydrogen sulfate in rare cases, causing similar symptoms. Intermittent chemical smell. This directly aligns with the toxic residue or off-gassing from the nearby SSFL or other underground chemical interactions near fault lines. Emotional distress, anger, feeling watched, fear of speaking about it. EMF exposure has been linked to mood changes, irritability, and even paranoia. Fear, folklore, and atmospheric changes like low-frequency sounds or pressure shifts from faults can all heighten psychological vulnerability, leading to intense emotional responses. Symptoms with possible environmental psychological overlap. These may have roots in natural conditions, but are likely amplified by psychological suggestion, group thinking, or local folklore. Feeling like you're being watched or an evil presence. This is commonly reported in high EMF areas, especially with irregular magnetic fields. This can also be psychosomatic, especially when people are aware of the location's haunted history. Poltergeist activity. Seeing ghosts. These reports could arise from hallucination caused by environmental factors, mild hypoxia, toxic exposure, or sensory distortion. Sleep disruption and EMF exposure can induce hallucinations in rare but documented cases. Mass suggestion and folklore, like Corriganville's reputation, can fuel these experiences. Doppelganger sightings. More extreme and rare, but toxic exposure, especially neurotoxins, can cause derealization or visual distortions. Could also be related to memory glitches, stress, or suggestibility, particularly in spooky settings. Symptoms that are less likely from environmental sources alone, that don't fully align with the environmental effects that could be explained through psychological or socio-cultural frameworks. Tasting blood. This one is very difficult to verify and could be anecdotal or exaggerated, possibly linked to a nosebleed, metallic taste from anxiety, or chemical exposure irritating sinus membranes, but unreliable as physical evidence. Higher than average self-unaliving rate. Needs statistical proof and could be influenced by many complex societal and economic factors rather than purely environmental ones. However, long-term exposure to contamination or radiation combined with EMF sensitivity and chronic anxiety could play a compounding role. Too long, didn't read. Many of the reported symptoms at Corriganville include battery drain, electronic glitching, headaches, dizziness, nausea, emotional distress, and even feelings of being watched. Can plausibly be explained by a mix of natural EMF, fault line activity, radiation, and toxic exposure from the nearby Santa Susana Field Lab. Others, like poltergeist activity or doppelganger sightings, may be amplified by psychological suggestion, folklore, and environmental stress. While some claims, like tasting blood, are less scientifically grounded, the overall pattern aligns with environments that are geologically active and environmentally compromised. It's always trying to be so helpful. Could someone who lives in Corriganville give a static reading of EMF3 from their clothing? I'm just curious. Yes, someone living in or frequently exposed to environmental EMF such as Corriganville near Simi Valley fault lines and Santa Susana Field Lab could give off a temporary EMF3 reading under certain conditions, especially if using a sensitive ghost hunting EMF reader. Proximity to environmental EMFs. If someone lives near a power line, fault line, or contaminated area like SSFL, their baseline exposure is higher. Electronics like cell phones, smartwatches, or even battery packs can add to that reading. There was one more question I wanted to ask. Going back to the previous question, could those symptoms be experienced within under an hour of arriving at the location? Yes, many of the reported symptoms could absolutely begin within an hour of arriving at a location like Corriganville, especially if someone is sensitive to environmental stressors like natural and man-made triggers in Corriganville, fault line EMF, natural occurring radiation, possible chemical exposure, shifts in atmospheric pressure or air quality, dry warm conditions amplifying static, particulate exposure, symptoms that can realistically start quickly, feeling watched and an evil presence, EMF spikes affecting the amygdala, triggering fear and paranoia, battery drain and electronic glitch, high EMF fields can interfere with electronics, headache, dizziness and nausea from EMF exposure, poor air quality or low-level chemical irritants, chemical smell and throat tightness, environmental toxins or VOCs in the area, shortness of breath, respiratory irritants, anxiety response or lower oxygen saturation, heavy chest and lightheadedness linked to CO2 shifts, EMF exposure or psychosomatic effects, emotional shifts, especially anger. EMF exposure has been shown to affect mood and irritability. Tasting blood could stem from nasal membrane irritation, but that is anecdotal. Symptoms less likely to start fast but still possible. Seeing doppelgangers, ghosts and poltergeist activity. Maybe psychological or confirmation bias, but high EMF can influence perception. Fear of speaking and worsening experiences. More cultural and psychological, possibly tied to suggestibility or group belief. Well, interestingly, these two were only reported by Alyssa. I want to say it's Alyssa, the lady that lives in the house. So it's still lining up. Important note, sensitive individuals like those with anxiety, PTSD or chronic illness, yes, for all three, thank you, may feel these effects more intensely and more quickly, especially under stress, heat or after a prolonged trip. Too long, didn't read. Yes, many of the reported symptoms in Corriganville could occur within an hour of exposure due to contamination of natural EMFs, radiation, possible chemical remnants and psychological triggers. Sensitive individuals may start to feel effects like dizziness, chest pressure, emotional distress, headaches and electronic malfunctions even faster. Cool, so that's all I really wanted to go over with ChatGPT at the end. So I will let you get back to the rest of the video and I will see you next time. Bye. So, final thoughts. Again, I don't really know. I feel like I covered it in the video. I really feel like there is something natural and explainable. Not with the science we have currently probably, but I feel like it is more of a natural thing than a ghost's thing. Especially with so many people reporting things over such a large distance of like the whole valley. So yeah, I feel like I covered it pretty well. Obviously that was a slightly bit more of a tough one for me, but I don't feel like I let my personal biases get in the way too much. I am unfortunately pretty good at dealing with liars and con men and people with narcissistic tendencies, if nothing else. I feel like I can be pretty diplomatic with it. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out. If you have any channels that you want me to cover, any particular videos, let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all the YouTubey things. All my socials are down in the description if you would like to contact me with like what you want to cover. If you don't want to do it publicly, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, once again, I would like to say thank you for everybody that spends their time watching my content. If you have any feedback or things I could improve, please let me know. If you just want to say hi or something, then that's also cool. I love all the interaction that I get and I am so grateful that literally anybody watches my content, to be honest. But yeah, with that, I will leave you to the rest of your day and I will see you next time. Bye!